Hi, I'm Bry with BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com, and today's question is about skin tones, which is actually a pretty common question. I even got it quite a bit when I was speaking at the National Convention this year for Adobe. Before I started, I was asking people in the audience, hey, any questions you guys have? And it's also a question I get by email a lot. And the question is, how do you get such great skin tones? Is it a filter? And the answer is no, it's not a filter. We're not lazy jerks. We put a little time and thought into our processes, right? We do everything right along the way so that when we open our images, they look perfect. So there's a few steps. The first is color balance. Of course, I've talked about how to color balance. This is like a little expo disc. Color balance every single light, your camera, and whatever light source you're using, whether it's flash. In this case, I'm studio video, so we're using like constant lighting. Color balance those. Whatever it is, I'm going to color balance my lights. And then I'm also going to set my camera accordingly, and it's going to be on a custom setting, right? The next thing I'm going to do is meter. I'm going to meter all of my lights, right? So that we've got the right intensity, so that people's skin tones is the right shade. Not just the right color, but it's the right brightness, darkness, right? It's not too dark, it's not too light, it's the right shade. And so that goes for video, goes for photography, goes for everything. And then, of course, the last step is to color balance all of our equipment. And that goes for our computer screens, it goes for our printers if we're printing ourselves, and also a projector if we are projecting. Like, for instance, when I meet with a client, all sales are done in person, face-to-face with a projector. So my particular device of choice for that is a Color Monkey, and this is made by X-Rite, distributed through the Mac Group. And so they do a lot of brands like Sakonic and other things like that. So years ago, right, there's a company called Graytag Macbeth, which became X-Rite. And Graytag had this really super nice little device for calibrating your monitor. And it cost me about $3,000, right? Again, this is like when digital was pretty new. And it also did a printer. And if I wanted it to do a projector, it was like another $900, right? So it was like $4,000 to do a computer screen, a printer, and a projector, because it's different. You need a spectrometer and a densitometer and things like that. Well, they have since come up with this, right? And it's this little device, and this little bag helps it for different things. So let's say I'm doing my screen. I simply zip it up in the bag so that the little sensor is on the bottom. This hangs, it's got a little weight in it. It hangs out and over the screen, and it hangs like this. And we're running some software. It flashes up some colors, profiles my screen. I don't use a pre-built profile from somebody else. We profile our screens. If I'm going to print myself, and I don't recommend to photographers to print themselves, use a really nice lab like White House, right? It's just send that work off. Don't open a lab. There's quite a lot of difficulty in running your own lab. But if you are going to do your own printing, you have to make your own profiles for every single paper ink combination. So if you're doing canvas, and if you're doing photo surface, you're doing metallic, and all these other things, every single one of those needs a custom white balance. So this has some software, it prints out strips, and you run this along the various strips, and it creates a profile based on those colors, the way they should print and the way they actually print, right? And then use that profile every single time you print. And if you're doing a projector, so every time I go speak, I might take my own projector. If it's in a huge room with like 1,000+ people and it's hardwired in, they got their own projectors in the room, I'm still going to set this up, and you can dial this little dial here and aim it right at the screen, and the software flashes up some colors, and I will profile that projector. So that's the idea, is no matter what, everything should look good all the way through, and that comes from, well, taking a little bit of care. So no, it's not just shooting haphazardly and applying a filter. It's taking some care. So there you go. If you have a question for me, America, for photography, something related, photography, videography, send me a message. Either post it below this video or send me a private message. Again, my website is BryCoxWORKSHOPS.com. Until next time, America.